Right, so we're going to look at this footage that I took during the live stream that I did at the Nottingham protest on the 21st of June, the UKIP protest. It's interesting because we can see police tactics or the lack of them, and how Antifa managed to actually infiltrate and take advantage of police tactics or lack thereof. So we'll just take a look at what the police actually did in this situation. Right, so this lady here, this, I believe Steve will confirm this for me, but I think that's an inspector. I think the ones in the red hats are inspectors, and there's a gold leader, and I think there's the one in the white uniform. I'm not sure who they are. I think the gold leader is the actual commander of the entire operation, and he'll be in a command centre some distance away. But these are your actual boots on the ground. These are the commanders that instruct all the officers. She was absolutely useless. She was pathetic. We, and me, myself and a few auditors, had to tell her that Antifa was marching up the middle column here in the centre where you can see all those police officers, and they had to quickly dispatch a lot of police officers from the left flank at the top. They were covering the right flank and the left flank, but they left the middle flank completely open and exposed. This is how naive the police are. This is how useless they are. And what Antifa actually did, they put great amounts of people up on the left flank, and then they started to come up the left flank as well, forcing the police to split their forces. So they left, the middle was already exposed, but now they're testing either side to allow a group to march up the centre more or less unchallenged until we told the police that's what they were doing. Yeah, but this police officer here, absolutely useless. The thing is, all they had to do, they didn't have to put a great line of police officers down there in the beginning. All they had to do was put 3 police officers down there as a deterrent. That would deter anybody coming up the centre flank, and that would allow them to keep the 2 left and right flanks fully manned, because the minute something happens down the middle flank, you just remove officers to cover it down there. Or why not just put the police van down there in the middle as a deterrent, reducing the ability for Antifa to run up the middle. It's all about tactics, and the police just didn't know how to deploy them. They didn't have a clue. That this lady here, I'll bring her back a bit until she comes back on the screen, but she didn't have a clue at all. She wasn't actually preemptively deploying the troops. She was just reacting to the situation as it happened. This one here, which you think you would have, it's only a small area. It's pretty easy to police. All you have to do is put some down the central bit down there, a few on the side, a few on that side. They weren't even covering the castle battlements until organisers of the protest said they're on the top of the battlements. They're going to be starting hurling stuff at us, and they're going to cause a reaction from the crowd. And that's when the police actually sealed it off. It wasn't the police who sealed it off through intuition. They had to be told to seal it off by the event organisers, which just proves they're an absolute joke. And we saw earlier, if you watched my video of Antifa, or went down and covered Antifa, that there was no sign of any evidence gatherers down there whatsoever regarding Antifa. The evidence gatherers were constantly pointing at the Patriots. And we saw that last night in Epping as well from the evidence gatherers. They were never covering the lefties or stand up to racism. It's always the patriots that they're gathering evidence on. And as I said in a tweet yesterday, they're gathering evidence on the enemy. They regard patriots as the enemy because the establishment, the higher ups in the police, the government are absolutely terrified now of an uprising, which is looking ever more closer each day with the actions of the Starmer regime. This is Vindicator signing off.